Hey, my name is Darson Grantham. I'm a real estate agent and investor here at Keller Williams in Des Moines. And on this video, I'm going to go through kind of the background and the story of the 3 mistakes that I made as an investor when I started investing. Now on this channel, I go through everything that I have learned and experienced and worked with investors when they're investing in real estate, things that they do wrong, things that they do well, things that they can improve on, things that I've noticed that I could improve on. And so if any of that is interesting to you, whether it's your first deal, your 100th deal, subscribe to this channel. I'm creating content that is applicable to anyone that's investing in real estate and anyone that's trying to design a life that they want to live and not work that W-2 job if you don't want to. And just in general, personal finance, right? Like personal finance goes a long ways when it comes to investing, whether that's in real estate or other asset forms. So here goes my 3 things that I made mistakes on when I started investing in 2018. Mistake number 1. I had rose-colored glasses on when it came to managing tenants and filling vacant units. I thought I'd read all the books, I've saw the processes, I've created kind of my own processes, and when that first couple tenants left, and then I had to fill those units, I put in place the rules that I had out. I put the process in. I needed 3 months of income. I needed a credit score above 650. I needed proof of income. And when I put that all out there, the number of tenants that came back was 0 that qualified. And so I just thought, like, maybe you just need to take time. Maybe you just need to go a little bit longer before good tenants would show up. Well, that didn't happen. A month later, nothing. 2 months later, nothing. So I had to rethink. I had to go back to the drawing board, and of the applicants that did come in, who qualified? Why did they qualify? What did they qualify for? And so I've kind of manipulated my criteria per property, because one of the properties that my very first property, where the utilities are included in the rent, 3 times 1 month or 3 times 1 month rent was considerably higher than what it would be if utilities were not included. So say utilities are not included, it's $600 apartment, but utilities included, it's $750 or $800. Well, that's $300-400 a month that a tenant needs to make in order to cover that. When if you do 3 months of the 600, it's 1,800. 3 months of the 750, 800, you're looking at 2,200. And I noticed that a lot of people were hitting that $1,800 a month mark, but they were not hitting the $2,200 mark. So I slightly modified that. And also on the credit score, I've thought harder on this, in the type of tenants that I'm putting in my units, because they're not A, B class properties, are tenants that are D+, C+ type tenants. And what that means is their credit score probably isn't very good. And what that also means is they don't care that their credit score is not very good. So what that then means, I need to care less about their credit score and more about their current debts and their history of payments on their car, on their apartment, and then on utilities. So if they have an outstanding credit card balance of $500 from 3 years ago, that hurts their credit score. But I, as a landlord, I don't care about that type of thing. So I have, I run a background credit report and a background criminal history report. And on that credit report, I grill them about the outstanding debts. When was the last time you paid them? What was the situation? And that way, I am not putting that stipulation of a credit score in there, but more of a, hey, are you paying your past debts? Mistake number 2 I made was similar to the rose-colored glasses, is not putting a process in place to manage the property on the day-to-day, meaning I did have a phone number, I had a separate email, I had a payment system. I used cozy.co, which now turned into apartments.com. And so I did that, but what I didn't manage was when I didn't have a Rolodex of handymen, a Rolodex of electricians, a Rolodex of property managers. And if you have that, or just people, I would call them $20 an hour people. For $20 an hour, you text them the directions, or you shoot a video of the directions of what you want them to do, and they'll go do it at your apartment. You'll have your tenants reach out to them, or them reach out to your tenants. They will schedule time to go do XYZ. And depending on what the project is, will give you the level of service, level of ability you need to have for that $20 an hour person, if that makes sense. In the grand scheme of things, this is a property that is 2 hours away from where I live, me and my family live. And so what I didn't want to do was have to drive down there every day or weekly. Since I bought them, I've probably averaged 2, maybe 3 trips a year down there. Like, I'm not driving down there. I'm not going there to check on things. And in doing so, I've created a Rolodex of all of the labor skills that are labeled labor trades that there are out there. And so when something goes wrong, I have them call up, contact that person that meets the qualifications for whatever they need repaired. And then lastly, my third mistake, I hear this a lot when I listen to a lot of content out there, is I just didn't get started soon enough. So a little bit of background about me. I had W-2 jobs. I had a family, growing family. We didn't spend very much money, but we saved quite a bit, but we didn't save it into accounts where I could put a down payment on a rental property, save more into retirement accounts. In doing so, my down payment, I didn't get that down payment together as fast as I probably could have if I put this as a priority. But I remember in 2012, I took a couple real estate investing classes. I think it was Fortune Builders or one of those flip this house, whatever, TV shows, but they did it trainings. And I remember doing that and thinking, oh, this is totally doable. And I remember 3 houses that I thought about buying at that time that I didn't. And I kicked myself because there's a good $150,000, $200,000 of equity in those houses right now that other investors bought at that time, and I just didn't pull the trigger. It's easy to look back, and especially in that era, and say, oh, 2012, if you bought it any time in that time, you'd have been genius. Yes, that's true. But I also say, buy now and wait. Don't wait and buy. Just because if you put your criteria in place and you know that, hey, this property that I'm buying is better than the rest of the properties on the market, and it fits the criteria that I'm comfortable with, go ahead and buy it. Don't wait for the dip. Don't wait for a housing crash, because who knows when it's going to come, if it's going to come. And then when it does come, are you really going to you're going to have the balls to invest at that time? For example, in 2020, in March of 2020, did you put all your leftover money in the stock market because you just knew that the market crashed and it's going to come up? Probably not. And if you did, good for you. You now have the funds to invest in real estate or keep in the stock market. But my point in that is take action. If I could explain anything else, my third mistake is I needed to take action sooner than I did. That wraps it up. Again, my name is Darson Grantham, real estate agent and investor here in Des Moines, Iowa. I was an investor first, then became an agent. I've done the Dave Ramsey plan. I've done the financial independence plan. And at this point in my life, I've kind of morphed the two, investing in real estate, investing in cryptocurrency, investing in the stock market. I think all of it has a place. And on this channel, I kind of explore what that looks like, creating a life by design and figuring out, how do you want to live your life? How do you want to formulate it? Where do your investments come from? I talk pretty heavily on real estate. So if real estate is something that interests you, please subscribe to this channel, tell your friends, share the video. And again, I appreciate you and looking forward to the next one. Peace out.